We've been following the story in Ukraine, Russia, the Crimean Peninsula, and as a result of Russia's annexation by de facto annexation of the Crimean Peninsula from Ukraine, the G8 has not decided to kick Russia out, but has essentially said we're no longer in the G8, and seven of the countries, all seven except for Russia, have reformed in the G7. So this is basically like kicking Russia out, although to be completely accurate and precise, Russia was not kicked out. They're just the only country left in what was the G8 and now the G7 meeting in The Hague. We saw President Obama speaking from the Netherlands. We heard from different elected officials from different countries surrounding what is really the goal here in doing this. And really the goal is to isolate Russia, to sanction Russia, to try to make this annexation of the Crimean Peninsula as painful as possible. However, I don't know for sure that it'll work. And I want to talk through it with you, Lewis. On the one hand, there's no question that Vladimir Putin is interested in building this sort of neo-Russian empire, right? Adding Crimea and building out this maybe the term empire is a little bit overstated now, but potentially what could be an empire that has the xenophobia, it has the homophobia, it has decreased press freedoms, etc. And when Russia has these economic and political sanctions placed on them, on the one hand, it could have an actual effect, right? The sanctions could have an effect. On the other hand, the countries can still do business with each other under many circumstances, so maybe the meaning is more figurative or political than it is practical. And along those lines, might these sanctions, might the news of Russia being left out of the newly formed G7, might it not have a positive, I don't want to call it a recruiting effect for Russia, but a propaganda effect, if we were to call it that?
Maybe. I mean, I do think overall this is just a symbolic gesture. And I mean, I don't really see it affecting too greatly the day-to-day dealings of Russia. Russia's a monster. It's a powerhouse, and it's going to continue to go about its business. But
well, that's the thing. This doesn't change. I think what you're getting at is this doesn't change Russia's status in the world as a geopolitical power. That it doesn't affect that. However, Russia, because of the personalities involved, including that of Vladimir Putin, Russia has a strong interest in claiming this status on a worldwide level, right? So even if they can make a deal and close ties with China, or rather, I guess what I'm saying is create closer ties with China, even if these sanctions and not being in the G8 won't specifically harm them, I think that it actually does the most to the ego of those within Russia who want to make it known to the world that Russia is a superpower like all others.
You could call it damage, or you could call it angering people with those egos, and that could be a bad thing in the end. We'll have to see.
We're going to keep following it. I've read 5 or 6 different analyses of what is the actual effect of the G7, G8 situation. What will the practical implications of these sanctions be? And does this actually help Russia in some way? I welcome your thoughts, and we're going to continue talking about it